Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a close look at something really quite special. It's the brand new Naoya Hida NH Type 6A Perpetual calendar.
Hmm.
Now, if you're someone who appreciates really fine watchmaking, classic design, but with a bit of an edge, and just the ingenuity of these mechanical calendars, oh, you're in the right place.
Yeah, this is definitely one to watch. We're going to unpack what makes it tick, why it's causing such a stir.
And it's a big deal for the brand Naoya Hida Co.,
Yeah,
right? This is their first perpetual calendar.
exactly. For anyone maybe not familiar, Naoya Hida is this small, independent Japanese maker. Really high-end, very classic stuff, often inspired by, say, 1930s, 1940s Calatrava watches. Think clean, elegant.
Understated, yeah.
Right. And this NH Type 6A, it builds on that, but adds, well, a whole new layer of mechanical complexity. It's quite a step up.
Absolutely. We've actually looked at their work before. I remember the Type 3A Moon Phase, lovely piece.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
And the rectangular Type 5A, that was quite different. And the 36 millimeter Type 4A collection, too. They definitely established a look.
A clear design language.
So the big question is, how do they take that sort of elegant simplicity and apply it to something as complex as a perpetual calendar? Let's start with the overall design.
Well, first off, it still feels like a Naoya Hida.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all the added information on the dial, the complexity, it's unmistakably one of theirs.
Right. The DNA is there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, you can see these subtle nods to, like, a vintage Patek, maybe some Vacheron from the late 40s,
Mm-hmm.
that classic feel.
Okay.
But, and this is key, it also has this very distinct artisanal feel. Almost, I don't know, robust,
Yeah.
a bit functional in places. It's not just a copy.
I see what you mean, that blend of elegance, but also maybe a bit more purposeful.
Yeah, purposeful is a good word.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit. The Kistelsha 37 millimeters diameter, 11.5 thick. That sounds pretty classic, very wearable.
Oh, absolutely. Very much in that classic sweet spot. And the material, 904L stainless steel, that's interesting too.
Why is that significant?
Well, it's not your standard steel. It's known for being tougher, more corrosion resistant, and it takes a really nice polish. You see that on the bezel, it's polished, concave.
Ah, contrasting with the brushed case sides.
Exactly. It just adds that little bit of refinement.
Now, here's something that caught my eye, and our source mentioned it too. The pushers for correcting the calendar, they're described as hardly integrated, meaning they stick out a bit, they're quite visible, which is, well, kind of unusual for this type of watch, isn't it?
It really is. It's an interesting choice. Normally, you'd expect them to be sort of flush, almost hidden.
Right. Keep it clean.
Yeah. So the fact that they're more prominent here, it maybe leans into that functional aspect we were talking about.
Could be, like they're not trying to hide the mechanism.
Perhaps. Or maybe it's an aesthetic choice, emphasizing the tool-like nature of a perpetual calendar.
Yeah.
It's definitely a talking point. What do you think?
I think it ties back to that purposeful idea. It's less about pure ornament, maybe more about acknowledging the mechanics. It gives it character, for sure.
Definitely character.
Okay, let's move inwards to the dial. Knowing Naoya Hida, this is probably where a lot of the magic happened.
Oh, absolutely. Their dials are consistently incredible. And with a perpetual calendar, there's just so much canvas for them to work with.
So what are we looking at?
It's a solid sterling silver dial, but crucially, it's argentium silver.
Ah, okay. Better tarnish resistance.
Exactly. So it should keep that bright, beautiful finish for much longer than traditional sterling. Smart choice.
And the details, the numerals, the markers.
All hand engraved. Roman numerals, the subdial indications, everything. Done by this master engraver, Keisuke Kano.
Wow.
And then, get this, the engravings are filled with cashew.
Cashew, like the nut.
No, it's a type of synthetic Urushi lacquer. It's traditional, gives this amazing depth and contrast against the silver. Real painstaking work.
Incredible detail. And the layout itself. How's the information presented?
It's pretty classic, actually. Anyone familiar with perpetuals will recognize it. You've got central hours and minutes.
Standard.
Right. Then date over at 9 o'clock, day of the week at 3, and down at 6 you have the month display combined with the leap year indicator.
Okay, so quite traditional. And just a quick reminder for listeners, a perpetual calendar automatically knows the date, day, month, even leap years. You basically set it and forget it until, what, 2100?
That's the one. It's a seriously clever bit of micromechanics.
And the hams.
Also beautifully done. The main hour and minute hands are 18-karat yellow gold, hand-polished, adds a bit of warmth.
Nice contrast with the silver.
Exactly. And then the calendar hands, date, day, month, those are blued steel. Makes them really easy to read against the dial. Very considered.
It sounds like a masterclass in dial work. Now, what's actually driving all this? The movement. You mentioned it uses the same base as their other watches.
Yeah, the core architecture is consistent, but the story behind the movement is quite interesting. It's a collaboration.
Oh, with who?
The base movement comes from Habring, the Austrian watchmaker. Richard Habring, very well respected.
Right, I know the name.
They use the gear train from the Valjoux 7750 as a starting point, which is, a super reliable, proven workhorse.
But it's not just a stock 7750 dropped in, I assume.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
It's heavily modified, finished to Naoya Hida standards, and it's manual wind, not automatic.
Okay, manual wind, 4 hertz frequency, decent power reserve.
About 45 hours.
Hmm.
Pretty standard for a manual wind like this.
And the perpetual calendar part, is that Habring²?
No, for the perpetual calendar module itself, they actually sourced that from Dubois-Depraz.
Ah, the Swiss specialists. They make modules for a lot of brands.
Exactly. They're experts in complications, especially calendars. So it's a smart collaboration leveraging Habring's base movement expertise and Dubois-Depraz complication know-how.
Makes sense. Focus on what you do best. Collaborate for the rest.
Precisely. And you can see the movement through the sapphire case back. It's got Naoya Hida's signature finish, that circular Côte de Genève pattern. Looks lovely.
Nice. Okay, so incredible watch, fascinating movement story. The big questions remain: exclusivity and, well, how much?
Yeah, the practicalities.
Mhm.
As you probably guessed, production is going to be tiny.
Like how tiny?
We're talking maybe 10 pieces total. Total. Spread across 2025 and 2026.
Wow, okay, so seriously rare.
Incredibly rare. This is proper small batch artisanal watchmaking.
And that rarity, I imagine, is reflected in the price.
It is. The export price, so excluding taxes, is set at 7.5 million Japanese yen.
Okay, which translates to roughly?
At the time the info came out, it was around 45,600 euros, give or take, depending on exchange rates, of course.
Right, significant price tag, no doubt.
Definitely a major investment. But, considering the handwork, the complication, the sheer exclusivity, it's in the ballpark for high-end independent perpetual calendars.
Fair enough. So for the lucky few who might be seriously considering this, how does one even attempt to buy one?
There are basically 2 ways, and the timing is really tight on both.
Okay, let's hear them.
First is directly via Naoya Hida's website. That's naoyahidawatch.com. They'll have a page open for applications starting May 19th, 10 a.m. Japan time, but it closes just a few days later on May 22nd.
Very short window.
Extremely. And then they'll start contacting the successful applicants from mid-June.
Okay, that's option 1. What's option 2?
Option 2 is through the Armory, the retailer. They'll be running an allocation lottery on their website.
Ah, a lottery system.
Yeah. That opens May 21st and runs a bit longer, until June 15th, 2025.
Got it. So either a quick direct application or a slightly longer lottery window via the Armory. Either way, you need to be ready soon if you're interested.
Absolutely. Prompt action required. It really underlines just how exclusive this piece is.
Okay, so let's wrap up our deep dive on the Naoya Hida NH Type 6A. It really feels like a landmark watch for them.
Oh, definitely. It takes their established style, that classicism with a twist, and successfully applies it to a major complication. It's proof they can play in the high complication leagues while staying true to themselves.
And for you, the listener, if what really excites you is that combination of serious rarity, obsessive craftsmanship, and a unique take on traditional watchmaking, well, this ticks a lot of boxes.
Even those quirks like the pushers we discussed, they add to its personality, don't they? They make you think about the choices behind the design.
They really do. Which kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it? When you look at this, watch the blend of history, Japanese artistry, Swiss and Austrian mechanics. What does it say about where high-end independent watchmaking is heading right now?
It's a great question. It feels like there's this energy finding new ways to interpret classic ideas.
Yeah, and maybe makes you wonder what other incredible things are being created in, perhaps unexpected places around the world, pushing watchmaking art forward. Something to ponder.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Until next time.